Right. We are now going to move on to water and sort of just repeat that same flow, that same process with the remaining three elements. So the attributes of water. This is fish energy. So keep in mind the fish, the beta, the salmon, whatever fish you like. Pick a pretty one, why not? Fish energy is soft and cool and supple. In the form of the fish energy person, there are ripples and tides, there are curves, there are hidden aspects to the body, there are layers. The movement of fish, just like in the photo here, is charged with emotion. Every way the body moves in somebody who holds water energy has meaning behind it, is telling a story. The way they turn, the way they walk, the way they hold their hands, the way they give you the side eye or flip their hair, all of it has depth and emotional charge that we can usually pick up on. The eyes are glossy and damp. The skin glows. It is soft and supple and cool to the touch. These are some of our physical attributes of water, our fish type, fish archetype. Some of the energetics, fluid in beliefs and in patterns, able to adjust and change and flow effortlessly. Also fluid in movement. Dampness, flowing into open spaces. Emotional, where the bear archetype, the earth person, is incredibly physical and tactile. The water person is incredibly emotional and romantic, not romantic in the sense of love, but in the sense of story and narrative. They are romantic and invested. These are the people that, watch TV and cry. They read a book and see themselves in all the scenes. They are there. They are ruled very much by their feelings. And like all water, they take the shape of that which they are poured into. They are very intuitive, empathic, we might say, that when released into a space, they will find the path of least resistance and pour themselves fully into it. Andrea says poets. Yes, absolutely. Very poetic. So what does water look like in wellness? Oriented to fluid, expressive movement. Again, they don't need to be ballet dancers. They don't have to be acrobats, but their own version of movement, their own style has expression within it, has meaning within it, even if it's not intentional. Their emotions flow openly and without stagnation. They know how they feel, you know how they feel. They have strong boundaries, like the banks of their river are strong and clear, and strong empathy. So they're able to have boundaries for themselves, but also empathize and sympathize with others. They know when to flow and when to pool, when to take action, when to hold still, when to think, when to do. They're able to intuit the natural way of things and swim into alignment. They see the flow of the river. They see how fast it moves or how slow, what direction it goes, and they're able to find their way into that flow. It's a metaphor for life. Water people are able to intuit the pattern of a space, the way things are moving in a relationship or in the world, and they can find their way into it. They are ruled by their emotions, but are not dominated by them. They have a clear distinction between fantasy and reality. They cultivate intuition and they use it to their advantage. The water folks are generally the most intuitive of the elemental folks. Again, we all have a little bit. They're mindful of taking on too much water, drowning themselves. They're able to attend to the needs of the body, the needs of the spirit, and not drown in their own emotions or their own sense of dedication to other people. They know when to do self-care. In excess, our water people are constantly in an emotionally reactive state. They are constantly in a river, a raging river of emotions. There is no stillness. All of their emotions come out intensely like a waterfall. They're unable to think clearly because their emotions are so loud. There's no room for feeling with the body. There's no room for thinking with the mind. They identify with the needs and narratives of others. They take on other people's stuff. They drown in their own fantasy world. They cope with depression, anxiety, loneliness, whatever, by immersing themselves in fantasy, movies, books, social media, and they begin to identify with those feelings instead of seeing those feelings as reactions to what they see. They take on too much water. They're unable to sweat it out, to process fluid. There's water weight. There's a sense of drowning. The lungs may have a bunch of phlegm in them. The sinuses become boggy. Boggy, wet digestion, cold, swollen joints, sore feet, disconnected from reality, heavy, heavy emotions, downward. The water, remember, the water always flows down. So it's very easy for two people with too much water to kind of get pulled down into these heavy states. And with not enough water, no connection to the emotions, cold, aloof, disconnected, unable or afraid to cry or emote openly. People who can't allow the water to move from their eyes, or when they do it, they can't do it in front of other people. Brittle, dry constitution and personality. The skin is dry, the hair is dry, the nails are dry, the personality is dry and brittle. They cannot be challenged with new ideas. They cannot be given constructive criticism or feedback in a kind way. They're too stuck. They're too dry to be flexible like water. They're unable to go with the flow. Their timing is off. They're not showing up at the right place at the right time. They're disconnected from intuition, dreams, and fantasy. They don't dream. They're unable to intuit the meaning of their dreams. There's no sixth sense. There's no sense of intuition or synchronicity ever. They're unable to fantasize. They're unable to lose themselves in a movie or a book or a fantasy. The skin is dry. The blood is deficient and sticky. The joints crack when they move from being dried out. There's constipation from lack of dampness and moisture in the bowels. They don't ever feel like they can completely empty their bladder. There's a disconnection from sexuality. Water is very much the element of sexuality. No empathy. They can't see or feel things from other people's perspectives. So you can see how this is what it looks like when there's no water in somebody, or a poor relationship with water. And so now we'll go back into our meditative state. I'm going to give you just a moment to digest and get yourself comfortable, and we will go and do another journey. So we will again begin by gently relaxing the body, the mind, the emotions, and the nervous system, able to return to that deep state of relaxation that we were in previously. Taking a gentle breath, use the exhalation to release any and all stress and tension from your whole being. Effortlessly falling back in to the state we established in our earth journey. Allowing your eyes to close. Allowing the land to hold you. And the sky to hold you. Moving fully into a sense of deep relaxation and stillness. Now, using your mind's eye, imagination, creative visualization, pretend make-believe, or other non-usual senses, I invite you to call forth the image of a grotto, an opening in an ancient forest which frames a mysterious pool of water. The water is illuminated gently, as if every atom within it emits a little bit of blue-green light. As you gaze at this water, you notice that bubbles arise here and there, breaking the still surface and bringing the sound of the water to your ears. Move toward the water, and feel the pull invite you in with a safe, comforting, and warm welcome. With the fluidity and effortless movement of a fish, slide into the water, going only as deep as you feel comfortable. The bottom of this small pool is the perfect depth for you to stand at a comfortable depth or allow you to float or swim to your heart's content. Experience the feeling of this mysterious water on your skin. How does it feel to move through the water? Explore in your imagination some gentle movements in this weightless space, even if it's just lifting a leg or moving an arm through the water. If you feel comfortable, explore laying back and allowing yourself to float on the surface of the water. Be held and experience every joint in your body being able to flex and flow effortlessly and with total fluidity. As you float, consider the water and other fluids that flow like gentle rivers within your own body. Your blood, lymph, the movement of fluids from mouth to digestion, your sweat and tears. See if you can perceive the gentle swell of fluidity that lives within you, wild and powerful. With this connection to water, it is now time to leave this sacred pond. So move gently from the water back to dry ground. Spend a few moments just being with your breath, each one of those breaths drying you off and returning you back to your usual state. When you're ready, return to your physical body as it rests in your safe space. Gently begin to rock, tap, massage, and stretch to re-engage with your physical body. And when you're ready, allow your eyes to gently drift open to welcome you back into the world of four elements. So you come back with your water experience and our discussion of water fresh in mind. We'll give you